Okay, so welcome to my top 5 manga of 2015. Now, these are the manga that I personally read in 2015. Obviously, I haven't read every single series that was released in 2015 or dropped chapters of 2015, so to speak. But these are based on the manga that I've read, some of which I review, some of I don't. I'm going to be talking about which ones I felt from least to greatest had the best content, had the best progression, and overall just kicked the most ass. So let's jump right into it. Something coming at number 5. It's a manga that I just recently read, and I'm only judging it based off the content that was dropped in this year, and I'm talking about One Punch Man. I'm talking about basically the chapters that came shortly after the Boros stuff, a little bit after King stuff, which, spoiler alert, by the way, if you're an anime only, you might want to skip the One Punch Man portion of this video. Pretty much this was the beginning of the Garo arc, what we have thus far anyway, of Garo. You know, he fought a couple different people, Tank Top Master, where he fucked up Moomin Rider, he beat up Metal Bat, like he kicked a couple motherfuckers ass in this one, and I felt as though definitely just getting into it, the excitement and stuff like that, building up Garo and everything, like he's already been built up. To be honest with you, had it been the entirety, because I also read the one manga, the one that already completed the Garo arc, had it been the entirety of the Garo arc that I was judging it on, because I'm judging the Murata one, by the way, it would basically be higher on this list by a lot, because it's an amazing arc. But from what we had thus far, it was a great setup, and all around One Punch Man, like the excitement and everything, and compared to a lot of other manga as well, it's been really fucking solid and continuing to be what it set out to do, and that's be funny, make fun of the genres all around it, and then at the same time be epic and cool as shit. Not to mention Murata's artwork, you can't fucks with that. So yeah, number 5, One Punch Man, starting from the Garo stuff and what we had thus far up until the Metal Bat fight. Coming in at number 4, now it started off with a bang this year, and then shortly after, towards the end, it kind of slowed down. I'm talking about Magi. Magi had an amazing start this year. Alibaba versus Hakuryu, Aladdin versus Judar, launching that motherfucker into space. The capture of Koen, Sinbad's revelation of him basically having David truly in him, and him being aware of David's existence inside of him. The revelation of Hakuei having Gyokuen inside of her, Gyokuen taking over her body, Koen's sacrifice of his limbs, and then even getting a time skip. Magi, it started off really solid, and up until probably the mid of this year, maybe a little bit after that, it fucking rocked solid. Towards the end, it started to slow down because it's revamping with the time skip or whatever, but from what the beginning of this year was of Magi, it fucking destroyed shit. It was awesome. We had major progression, even going into the final arc of the story of the series. And I mean, you can't lie, like those first fights with Alibaba versus Hakuryu and shit like that, Aladdin going mercilessly against Judar, everything about those fights was amazing. I mean, Hakuryu lost his fucking legs doing it. So yeah, Magi, number 4. Coming in at number 3, one of the young guns, baby, one of the young guns, Boku no Hero Academia, aka My Hero Academia, is one of the fresh series from Jump. The beginning of this year started off after the preliminaries of the tournament. Basically, we had amazing battles in this one and a lot of progression. Deku's character development this year alone, he went from still kind of wimpy, and he'll always have that in him, but ultimately he grew a lot as a character. And the fights, I mean, the fights were solid as a motherfucker for My Hero Academia. I mean, the Todoroki versus Deku, Bakugo versus Todoroki, even though it was kind of a little iffy towards the end, it was an amazing fight. Bakugo versus Uraraka, that shit was insane. Those were two characters you never thought were gonna cross paths and have a, you know, blow for blow or whatever. And even Uraraka went actually in, she gave him a run for his money. The past of Todoroki, finding out more about his relationship with Endeavor, his father, and stuff like that. Just so much great setup. And then of course the Stain arc, Ida and everybody going up against Stain. Like, this manga definitely kicked so much ass, and for a new gun, it brought some solid shonen material and a lot of great development for these characters. Like, already this manga is off to a bright future. Coming in at number 2, baby, One Piece. The beginning of this year started off with a lot of the executives going down, but one of the best fights of all those executive fights was Senor Pink versus Frankie. I did not see me loving and adoring that, and that being as good as it was. Finding out Senor Pink's past, it was insane, but then at the same time it was like, yo, I respect this motherfucker so much. Then not to mention the finale of Dressrosa, Luffy versus Doflamingo, Luffy going Gear 4th. I've talked about that so much already, but like the transformation, him having to use the God strings against Luffy, like it was an insane fight. And finally ending Dressrosa after years of being in this arc, it was like, yeah, we finally got past that shit. But then not to mention, we also had Kaido in there versus the Kid Alliance. It was insane. We've been waiting to see Kaido for years, so we had that too. Not to mention, we got to see Buggy again as well. well. And then we even got to Zoe already, which has been foreshadowed for a while that we were going to that island. And then Captain Jack trying to free Doflamingo and finding out that he has a 1 billion berry bounty and he has one of those legendary zone fruits. Like, this manga this year definitely made some huge strides. We finally finished Dressrosa, got to an entire new arc, and we had epicness all around and some growth for Luffy yet again, seeing that huge developing moment when he said, I'm done running. That shit is over. I'm gonna face everyone head on. We ran too long. It's time to go charging in. Like, that was huge development for Luffy. So definitely number 2, One Piece. And you're probably thinking, what was number 1? What was number 1 for ForneverWorld? Tell me what was number 1. What did you think was the best? And I'll tell you what was number 1. It was Tokyo Ghoul. Yes, baby, coming in at number 1. You see it on the hat. You should have been foreshadowed from the beginning of this video. Tokyo Ghoul fucking destroyed everything. The art, the foreshadowing, the symbolism, the character development, the characters in general, just everything about this fucking manga kicked so much ass and deserved number 1. I mean, it was easily one of the most deepest and complex mangas out this year that, you know, drop chapters on a weekly basis. Like, it destroyed the competition. Having the Takizawa arc, everything about Takizawa's transformation. I mean, Sasaki versus Takizawa, Shirazu versus Nutcracker, eventually having to deal with the demons from his past, and then ultimately having to use Nutcracker Quinque. It was like insane just having him slowly develop. The big Madam versus Juzo stuff. I mean, Madam, like, we didn't see what was coming with that. Her being basically a tranny and stuff like that. Like, that was insane. And him having to conquer his demons from his past and shit like that. Everything Madam did to him, it was like, I didn't even expect Madam to be that strong. Hinami versus Takizawa, her being captured, but like her showing up, and even though she was no match for him or whatever, like still saying, no, I'm gonna defend my bro and shit like that. That was awesome as well, bringing her into the fold and showing how much she has grown since the original manga, being like a helpless little kid and is now like, no, it's my turn to help him. Shu Tsukiyama finally coming out of his crazy, oh my god, depressed state, and then ultimately what happened with him and Kane's sacrifice, finding out more about Kane being basically Karen. Like, that was a huge revelation that a lot of us didn't see. Like, I just thought, okay, it's, you know, this dude likes this dude, whatever, okay, you know, that it is what it is. And finding out that it's actually a girl that was seeking his affection and everything, like, whoa. Not to mention Eto torturing Kane and everything, like, yo. And then, of course, the return of Ken Kaneki with Blood Kaneki fighting Eto and shit like that. And it's not even the return that we expected. It's a darker, more cruel version of Kaneki finding out about his past with what his mother did to him, and Shirazu's death. This year, Tokyo Ghoul, it rose above the competition and went above and beyond, stomping everything in its path. Tokyo Ghoul, without a shadow of a doubt, gets number 1 best manga of 2015 from what I've read from me. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my list? Is there something that didn't make it? I would definitely say a couple of honorable mentions that had some pretty good stuff was Dragon Ball Super. It was only 7 chapters, but it had some pretty good stuff and some great setup for the future of the series. And then also Fairy Tail had some really awesome moments as well. I know a lot of people love to shit on Fairy Tail, but it had some great stuff with Zeref and Mavis and everything about the revelations of Natsu. And did you feel as though there was any other series that I should have added on there that maybe I review or you think I checked out, or just something that I should check out? And your overall thoughts of manga in 2015. There was a lot of solid things. I mean, Bleach had a couple of really awesome moments as well with Aizen and a lot of good stuff there. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed anything about this video, make sure to drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.